This now, the Transvaal Agricultural Union, or TLU for short, is calling on government to exempt farmers from load shedding. Last week, Eskom implemented stage 6 indefinite load shedding, and this has seen a severe impact across the different sectors of the economy. Now, the agricultural sector in particular has taken a huge knock, putting food security at risk. Let's speak now to Bennie, the General Manager of the Transvaal Agricultural Union, and just to find out what the situation is really on the ground. Mr. Van Zyl, thank you very much for your time. Paint a picture for us, very briefly if you can, what the impact of load shedding has been on the agricultural space.
Good morning, Paul, and all the viewers. Yes, and this is for us crucial at this stage because we do have in South Africa now a situation where we experience that because of this load shedding, specifically on the farms, but that's not only an agricultural problem, this is a South Africa problem because we need the economy to grow and therefore we need successful, profitable businesses. But the reality is that no business can be sustained if they don't have food on the table. And therefore we from our side are quite convinced that agriculture should be seen as a very important sector to make sure that we don't lose our ability to produce food. Now at this stage, if you look into all the different sectors within the agricultural sector, there's a great problem, especially our irrigation farmers. If they don't do the cycle of the irrigation completely, in this heat wave that we experience now over the country, there's unreversible losses in their yield and they cannot regain it afterwards. So you have to make sure that this biological process of growing crops should be sustained, and with this reality at stage, we cannot do that. The other thing is the cold chain. That is for the fruit and vegetables, the milk, meat, we can go on and on. All those role players, if the cold chain is broken somewhere along the line, we lose shelf life and we even lose the whole produce, and that is a big problem for us. So, and then, a farmer has only one time a year the opportunity to produce in certain circumstances some produce for that specific commodity. Yeah. And if he loses it this year, he will not have a chance until next year. And a lot of our farmers are now on the point of becoming bankrupt because of the reality that they don't have a profitable yield or even a yield at all. And that is the reality of the impact of the power shedding and the reality of not sustainable electricity apply or make it available for the farmers.
That's a very worrying picture you've just painted there, Mr. Van Zyl. When you talk about a threat to food security, I mean, you've just detailed now that a farmer has one chance to make a profit or at least make business out of the produce that he does in a single year. So when we talk about the reality of food insecurity as a result of load shedding, we know that it's going to take some time to fix this problem. At least that's what experts are telling us. So how close are we to that point of food insecurity if there are no measures implemented soon for the farming community, particularly when you ask for the agricultural sector to be exempted from load shedding?
Yeah, that's the reason why we asked the government to actually interact with Eskom to do that immediately. We cannot wait 2 weeks for a possible result because then the damage on the farms will be already too big. And that's our concern, that government is not fast enough to make decisions regarding this. We have a discussion with the minister, the whole value chain, and we are very thankful for a lot of positive inputs from all the organizations. But the minister put a task team together, and within 2 weeks they should report back to her. And that for us is a little bit late already in this line of production of food. So yes, we have great concern about the process. From our side, we are now busy planning together with other role players. We create organization SON SA, and we are now planning a conference to see what alternatives can we bring to the table to make sure that we have sustainable electricity in our country. But I want to mention something that is very important that all of us in South Africa should realize. And we are now addressing all the symptoms of a problem. But if you are not going to solve the reason for this problem, then we have the same results all the time, over and over again. And for us at this stage, we have over time have a policy of government with cadre deployment, and they have people now within Eskom that think that's the place where they can enrich themselves. And we have even criminal syndicates sitting there, sabotage our national electricity supplier. And that is the one big reason that should be rectified immediately. If those people are still staying there and they keep on with their practice, then we will not get the outcome that is positive for our country. So we need now an organization that can make sound business decisions. And the government shouldn't be involved in any of those. We cannot go on with cadre deployment and a policy of BE. We need now expertise. Doesn't matter from which race they are. It shouldn't be a criteria now anymore. Now we should look into expertise to solve this problem and see what can we do to rectify Eskom so that he can do his job that we need in South Africa to sustain our economy.
Yeah, two quick issues there that you've mentioned, Bennie van Zyl. The one around cadre deployment, did you raise that with the minister and what was her response? But second question, it has to do with the 2 weeks that you say she has asked for in order to go and make some plans. I'm interested to know that in that 2 weeks that she has asked for, what is it that she has promised exactly? What kinds of interventions?
From our side, the cadre deployment, I mentioned that to the minister. She take notice. That's my concern. I think that is the ANC's policy, and that is the reality of we do have a lot of our parastatals that is now dysfunctional because of that policy. But that's now not the issue. So we mentioned that to her. Then she compiled this task team to address the problem. And we have to wait now for the 2 weeks to see what will be the outcome. Because that's the best that from government side they can do. All of us in the agricultural sector realize at this time, when you have any disasters, it's too little too late every time when government comes to the table. And we have to learn out of this that we have to act immediately to make sure that we keep processes intact, to make sure that we can run our country on a positive note. At this stage, that is not on the reality side that we need in this country.
Yeah. So, Bennie van Zyl, I want us to walk away from this interview with at least something tangible that the minister has promised from her side. So she says, give me 2 weeks. I'm going to go and find what the solution is going to be, because what you are asking for is to be exempted from load shedding. Did she promise that she is going to go and talk to the powers that be in order for the farming community to be exempted from load shedding? Is that what she promised?
Yes, we realize that Minister Toko Disa is not a responsible minister for this whole problem. But she gave us a word that from her side she will go and talk to her colleagues to see if she can actually do something about this. But we have to give her some information, and that's the reason for the 2 weeks and task team to bring a report to the table so that he can work on that. So yes, let's see what the minister can actually manage within her colleagues if they can make a decision on this. But the sooner the better. Every day we lost produce and we are going to lose some farmers, and that's for the future not good for our country.
Bennie van Zyl, let me thank you very much for your time. General Manager at the Transvaal Agricultural Union of South Africa. All right.